got a couple of aliases. People know me as Howsie, Howard Von Noise, and OG of Creepy Cool for various reasons. I guess I said it to a mate and it kind of stuck because I try and do everything that's like with Coffin Carousel especially. It's creepy, but it's all cool. But anyway, so yeah, Coffin Carousel started for me back in 2012 as a side project. I was still doing my old bands, Hatchet Dawn and Diamond the War at the time, which they sort of fizzled out a couple of years after 2012. And I thought, oh, screw it. I've got this side project just sitting there, just chipping away at it. I'll just make it my full-time band. And it sort of has been ever since. So the band's put out we're about to put out our fourth full-length album. So we've had an EP go out initially in 2015. And then just every couple of years we've filtered out a full-length album. So yeah, and apart from that, just doing shows around the local scene in Melbourne. We've been to Brisbane once to play the Dead of Winter Festival. But yeah, so just been making heaps of music videos, and just trying to make cool albums in general, you know.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for joining us tonight, brother. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to finally catch up.
Yeah, it's been too long. So Coffin Carousel, as you say, will release your new self-titled album on October the 13th, mate. So it's only about a week away, bro. How are you feeling?
For this one, I'm feeling excited. Every album that I'll put out has been on a Friday the 13th. So following tradition. I'm most excited for this album, more so for the fact that band's taken a massive leap. I guess the sound originally started in the horror punk realm with like sludge metal and all that sort of stuff, but it's really sort of tipped into the metal spectrum for this album. The sound's progressed; it's gone more elite, I guess, in metal genres, and I just pushed my vocals basically into metal. I previously had done all the melodic sort of Misfits kind of choruses, and you know, I've still got melody in this new album, but my vocals they're more harsh, more aggressive. And over the last couple of years, I've just learned a few tricks with delivering that sort of metal growl. So I'll put my flavor to it. So I'm really excited for it to get people to hear it.
One quote that stood out to me in the press release, mate, was where it said, "This is by no means a repeat of formulas from the three predecessors." So can you elaborate a bit on that for us?
Yeah, so it was always my goal to put out an initial 3 full albums. So sort of plan these 3 albums out back. I sort of conceived it in 2012. So they have formula. All their first 3 albums have 18 tracks. Two albums of them have a cover song on each one. But like they kind of each album I had themed out. I had it planned. So I was like, before I die, there'll be 3 Coffin Carousel albums, and that was the idea, and I guess I achieved that. So, yeah. So having done that, I was like, okay, I still got material for a 4th album. I'm getting a bunch of ideas that were just completely different. I was like, okay, I got to return back to my metal roots, because I started playing music originally in death metal bands and metal bands around the scene. So I was like, it's calling me. I got to make the next album a metal album. Sort of change up the artwork format on the cover, because the previous 3 had like a repeating sort of a theme. But yeah, sort of fresh new branding, fresh new sort of the reins are off as far as the writing style. There's no kind of like concept anymore. It's just what works, what sounds good, and yeah. So it's a good leap. People that are not used to the last 3 albums will probably, holy shit, what's this new sound? Like, it's a bit of a reinvention. So that's why I just keep a self-titled album. I didn't want any themes or sort of preconceptions of what people would expect. It's just, this is what I think Coffin Carousel should, I guess, having cleared out the closet, this is what I would have loved to freshly come in as sort of treating as a fresh new band in a way, mentality, I suppose. So.
Sure. You sort of touched on this with that answer, bro, but you've expanded your sound to encompass death and black metal, sludge riffs, and some aggressive black and catchy vocals on the album. Like, was that a planned direction going into it, or was it sort of, did it more come about in the creative process?
Not at all. So as the band released the third album, Order of the Bat, the live lineup was playing around with just throwing in a cover live, and we're playing around in the jam room with the Sepultura classic Roots, right? And I was like, shit, I can't do Max Cavalera vocals, but just in the moment of just in the jam room having fun, not really trying to work, I sort of just started the vocals. The lyrics are mate, I know the lyrics. I started doing the line, but in that process, it was like I felt that feeling of anchoring back, but ejecting from the chest, and I was like, "Holy shit, that didn't hurt, but it actually felt good." So that over the course of the last album cycle live, I've tried to push my vocals more into a sort of a growly style, and as far as tracking them for this album, I was like, I definitely want to bring this new element that I've learned from playing live, and it was just like, yeah, like, and as far as the riffs, the riffs and the songwriting structures, I guess going back to those metal roots, lots of triple picks. I was a massive like 90s Roadrunner catalog fan, a big strapping young lad fan, like even all the underground stuff, like black metals, death metal stuff. So I was that's in me, but I just taken off all these sort of preconceived ideas of what I wanted the last albums to be. Doing this new album was like, I love doing triple picks, I love harmonies, I love sludgy sort of dissonant chords and just structured kind of flow. I don't have that sort of verse chorusy sort of concept, but it's more of a experimental moments. Having and moments just where the band rocks out and just like little instrumental passes and bringing all that into songwriting was just gotta go with the gut, and that's what it was. So
You're also going to be releasing the single "War of Roses" to coincide with the album. So tell us a bit about that.
yeah, so I guess through the lockdowns and the past couple of years and that, like everybody, I started reading and researching things, and I got stuck on a lot of old stories, like and just like a lot of esoteric sort of how do you say, like history, and just I come across like the story of like the War of the Roses, and it's just how that changed the British Empire and the royal sort of throne, and I really dug. I got deep into the whole Knights Templar, and just all these like medieval European eras and families, and I sort of thought, how cool would it be to sort of spin that little bit of a concept into this, because the album had no concept. It was just a couple of songs. I sort of explored the series and all the history I read about, and I just sort of, well, War of Roses is a statement. It's like, I guess there is that, I guess, classic history element to it, but also lyrically, it's maybe humanity is still in a war of roses. We're still fighting for these different sides and different good and evil, and there's just kind of like, yeah, so there's a little bit of a sort of, I guess, Knights Templar, War of Roses theme in there, but it was more, I guess, as a fun factor for me just to explore some things, and I guess it lends itself well, like with that whole just black metal writing styles, and death metal is it's very aggressive. It's very staple sort of sounds. So just that medieval metal, I don't know, standing on the stage at down all stuff, just imagine history just around. Yeah.
And that song comes with a devilishly wicked music video, mate, featuring animation and live action mixed in together with lots of bats. Like, what's going on with that video?
Yeah, again, like I didn't want to have so I guess I love, obviously I'm a big Stoner Doom sludge fan, so I've seen over the last couple of years all these like newer bands coming out, and they're introducing these animation moments and just different video effects. We did some green screen stuff, which I've never done before, So I sort of wanted to lean in a little bit of that sci-fi. I don't know, it's a little bit sort of retro, I guess, but just the bat symbol's always been in the artwork. It's always the first band shirt I ever had done for the band. It featured me jumping out of a coffin with this bat sort of like over my shoulder, and the artist who did that, it was just so cool. I've used it. I've always had like a recurring theme with the bats. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, the Batman. The Batman. What's his? I can't remember his name. It was for Nolan series, I think. Like the whole theme of that, how it played in with the horror punk sort of beginning, and I was just like, cool. How cool would it be to have it animated? And I'm doing all this green screen stuff, and then have these bats sort of like, get ready to go into war, and I'm leading these bats in, rocking out. So it was just a bit of a contrast, just a visual contrast. Apart from the band just jamming in a smoky warehouse, like, and actually we're recording the song. I had the friend of my mate who mixed it, Julian. My friend. He's got a friend, Daphne, who done some backing vocals on the second album. But I said to her, there's a couple of tracks on this new album that I've sort of got blank sections. I don't have, creative ideas. I just sort of left them for something, and during the mixing process, it might just come up. And she came in the studio, and I showed her that track War Roses, and I showed her the gaps that I didn't have any parts for, and she's just kind of humming, and she goes, well, what's the name of the song again? And the song's called War Roses, and she just kind of singing like that War of that little lullaby sort of. So I was like, perfect, just jump behind the mic, and so she did some guest vocals on 2 tracks, but yeah, so having those female vocals in the song as like a backing vocals, I had a friend just sort of act out a couple of parts in the video clip to sort of, I guess, represent. And the whole War of Roses, like, it does stem from like the John O'Gaunt timeline with his, this love, Catherine. It was always like forbidden love sort of thing. So I was like, throw that in there as part of the whole concept of that at that time. But yeah, it was good fun. Like, and it's just introducing animation. Like, it's something I haven't done much of, but it gives that kind of contrast between the band, and there's another sort of visual.
Oh, and another line that I really loved from the press release, mate, was where it said, Coffin Carousel is your haunted chainsaw ride to an uncompromised dark metal horror textured musical experience. Like, it's beautifully written, mate, but I got no idea what it means.
So that's where my bit of a campy, nerdy horror, like your movie title synopsis comes in. It's like, I guess with my guitar sound, like, I've always had this real sludgy, feral tone, and especially with this album, making it more sort of black death metal focused on the tones, I just got a bit more of that chainsaw grindy frequencies in there. So I guess it's just that the sonic assault is a chainsaw kind of driven, I don't know, guitar sound with the uncompromised, I guess, is just a play. The band's independent, so we don't have people tapping us on the shoulder going, you got to put releases out like this. And we're doing it from the heart. It's an artistic expression. We're not doing it for any agenda other than just to represent the genres we're passionate about. So I guess when I always have these little narrative lines running through my head, and that was just something that popped in my head one day, and I was like, I'll try. It's kind of
good. I like it. Very well written.
Yeah, but yeah, I just like it's fun with it too. Like, how many bands do go? We're a 4-piece metal band from Melbourne that loves death metal, and it's just like, I don't know. Fuck, how many times have you read that shit? I was just like, just try and make it something a bit okay that twigs the imagination. I'll might check them out.
Yeah, sure. So do you plan on doing any touring to promote the album when she comes out, mate?
Yeah, so we've got a launch show at the Gasometer next week on October 13th. I would love to do more touring. It's just having a permanent lineup that can do that. I've got some good buddies playing in the band at the moment, but yeah, I guess I'm up for the touring. I'm up for doing shows in the state. It's just having a lineup that's wanting to and willing to do that. So at the moment, there's no shows booked, but I'm open to booking stuff and getting out there. And I did a lot of touring back in the day with my old band, Hatchet Dawn, and it was just the best fun traveling different cities. It was hard work. It's in Australia, touring is any band will tell you, you know, you don't get sleep and it's a lot of hard work. But there's something about just energy of moving and playing music in cities. It's just you realize there's a big world out there, but hopefully one day I can get the wheels moving properly where we can do some touring and just get around Australia a bit more and all that sort of stuff. So it's one day would hopefully happen.